Okay, is your vote for Mitt Romney more of a pro-Romney or an anti-Obama vote?
My vote for Romney is a pro-Romney vote because his agenda is what's interesting to me as opposed to what Obama's agenda is.
What's the difference?
Substantial. One is conservative, one is very socialistic.
How about their views on Israel?
I'm not confident of Obama's views on Israel. I think they're somewhat misleading and duplicitous, whereas I think that Romney's traditionally been more favorable to Israel by a substantial margin.
The fact that he's a Mormon, does that play a role?
Absolutely not. In my decision, absolutely not. I think that anyone should be allowed to run for president of America, irrespective of his religion, if it's an American.
Do you hear Democrats saying anything about the fact that he's a Mormon?
Only the Democrats who are trying to antagonize the evangelical vote are saying that that's a problem. To me, it's not a problem.
You're an official of a group that was known as the Tea Party before. They changed the name, but are there many Tea Party supporters here in Cincinnati?
Many more than you think. And I think that the Tea Party influence has gained phenomenal grassroots power across the country. You know, people are confused about what the Tea Party stands for. The Tea Party really only stands for three things. It's limited government, fiscal responsibility, and free markets. That's the tenet of the whole Tea Party. There's nothing more, nothing less. So the Tea Party, because of its interesting dimensions that it has captured the anger, the ire of people who are afraid of it. But I haven't met anybody yet who doesn't believe in limited government, free markets, and free enterprise.
Are many Jews supporters of the...
No, not to my knowledge. Because Jews are traditionally Democrats for reasons that I still have problems with. It makes no sense. It might have made sense years ago. The same way that sweatshops, the banning of sweatshops made sense many years ago. The same way that labor unions made sense when they were created some years ago, but they've outlived their usefulness.
But here Cincinnati is a large number of Republican Jews, correct?
I don't know if it's more or less than other places as a percentage. I know that Cincinnati generally is considered to be a Republican bastion, and it probably is. But I don't know if Jews... I know many more Jews are not Republicans than are Republicans.
And it's primarily, you were saying that in 2004, the Jewish vote was critical for Bush here in Ohio?
Yes, to the best of my recollection, Bush won Ohio by, George W. won Ohio by 200,000 votes, and I know that there are more than 200,000 Orthodox Jews in the state of Ohio who would have put him over the top because Orthodox Jews are conservative in their politics.
See, can you tell us what your concerns about Obama and why you won't support him in November?
Well, just from personal experience where my husband is a diabetic, he's type 1 diabetic, insulin dependent, and we're having a very hard time getting him health insurance. The only health insurance that he does have is for, God forbid, extreme illness, like he has a seizure, a diabetic seizure. Medication is a lot of out-of-pocket expenses, and the free Obamacare we have to pay for. It costs us about $300 a month. And that's just if he goes into the hospital. Doctor's cares, he's limited to visits. He can only go once every 6 months, where being a diabetic, he has to go every 3 months to get his, his A1C, whatever that's called, checked. And same thing with supplies. He's very limited with his supplies, and it's sad.
And Romney is holding out hope that that'll be changed?
Well, we can only hope. It's hopeful, and it has to be better. Let's put it that way. Something's got to get better. I mean, just from living with a diabetic from day to day, and seeing the struggles that we have as middle class working people that can't afford health insurance unless our employers are generous to give us coverage.
Good.
So.
Okay. And how do you see Obama for this country?
Well, I think he's, I think he's done a disservice, I think, to the country because he's socialist. I mean, first of all, the fact that nobody ever investigated his background, and he ended up coming into power as for change when he hasn't done anything. The debt is $5 trillion, more than it was when he took over. I mean, the comment about, is it better now than it was 4 years ago, I would say no. Our unemployment is skyrocketed since he's been in power. And, everybody can say, well, I blame it on the administration before him, and gee, it takes more than 4 years. It doesn't take 4 years. Look at the various states that in Ohio, or look at what's happened in New Jersey, and how quickly they've turned around their states when their governors have only been in power for less than 2 years or 3 years. In Ohio, it's a year and a half, and all of a sudden, look where they are. And
Ohio is better?
Ohio's a lot better now. They went from one of the worst states in the union for jobs. Now they're like the 5th leading state in the union for jobs, and that's been within a year and a half. So you can't, you've had 3.5 years to do it. You didn't do it, and so from an economic standpoint, it's horrible. And also, they changed how the rules are. It used to be that you would, with a 4.5% unemployment, everybody was included. All of a sudden now, we don't include the people that aren't looking for jobs anymore. Now we're only dealing with 8%, unemployment, where it should be closer to 10 or 12. And, that again is another area that I think is incorrect.
Sandy, you told me that you're getting letters and emails from friends in Israel?
We have received some emails from friends in Israel begging us not to vote for Obama because they're so afraid of his policies towards Israel.
Right, and you're independent now.
I'm not a Republican or a Democrat.
Did you vote for Obama last time?
No, I did not.
And will you vote for him this time?
No, I will not. No, as far as having to choose, I've chosen to be a Republican this time. That doesn't mean that next time or last time I was too, but before that.
Right, and so the friends in Israel are having an influence on you?
Well, I was not for Obama before we got these letters, but they did not know that I wasn't for Obama, and they're asking us, please don't be. They're very, very worried about his policies in the Middle East.
Good. Very good.
We've gotten several letters.
Good. Thank you. Ohio's a swing state. How do you see this, the Jewish community in this swing state playing? What kind of a role do you think it's going to play?
I think being a swing state, Ohio, the Jews in Ohio who voted overwhelmingly for Obama last time will vote for Romney in this election to a great extent, and it's only going to take 200,000 votes to flip it one way or the other, and I think that the Jews have that type of votes and can move that type of votes in order to swing this state to Romney in the next election.
And what is the selling point? Why Romney do you think will captivate the Jewish community and their vote?
I think Romney will captivate the Jewish community because economic concerns are paramount in the state of Ohio, like they are in much of the country. And I think that there's a great belief here that Romney understands the economy, he has experience, he has a positive history in understanding how to create jobs, how to balance a budget, and people believe that he will create jobs in the state of Ohio and bring companies here. So I think that's what's going to swing it.
And why we get the impression that Obama, a lot of people who supported him feel disappointed now. Do you hear that?
Yes. You want me to? I'll start by repeating your question.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people who supported Obama last time believed all the promises that he made. He promised that he would do many, many things, and now they see that unemployment is still up, jobs have not been created, the deficit is growing, and the international situation is getting worse, and all of those promises have not been fulfilled, and I think people just are not going to give them a second chance.
Good. Excellent. Good. Anything else you wanted to say?
No,
You talk about Israel. Do you think that's going to? What role? We've got a situation now with Iran, very critical situation with Iran, and Obama promised to have Israel's back. Do you think what role might that play?
Yeah. I believe that Iran represents a real threat to the free world, and I think in particular it represents an existential threat to the state of Israel. And I think when push comes to shove, people believe that Obama, after the election is over, will not have Israel's back, and actually will not have any of the United States' allies back if it's not in the U.S.'s interest.